Good morning again, friends, family, anyone who's out there watching this today. Welcome again to Storytime with Rob. And today I have a great little history lesson for you that I know you're going to enjoy. So let's get started. This one is called Escape. Of all the positions in the field of journalism, that of war correspondents is perhaps the most dangerous. Some are captured, some escape, and some die. 25-year-old Leonard Spencer was the London Morning Post's newest correspondent. His assignment was the Boer War in South Africa. And I know a little bit about that because I lived there for a short while. Had young Leonard foreseen the peril awaiting him, he probably would have taken the assignment anyway. That's how Leonard was. About 25 miles from Ladysmith, Leonard could hear the booming guns. He was aboard a British armored train that would take him as close to the front as he could get. The train got too close. There was a sudden crash. The train had struck a boulder on the tracks, a Boer booby trap. It was an ambush. Immediately, a full aside of rifle fire followed. Surprised, British troops on the train fired back, and Leonard ignored the gunshots and exploding shells. He jumped off the train, directed the British defense, helped clear the wreckage, and in fact, without the aid of this youthful correspondent from the Morning Post, the train might well have been lost and the British troops massacred. Instead, the wreckage was cleared, the train did pull out of the trap, and carried a good many British soldiers with it. The one left behind, however, to face the enemy was Leonard. No, the story does not end sadly there. Leonard was captured. He was unharmed. Even though Leonard was technically a war correspondent, the Boer commander was sufficiently impressed with his bravery. So then he was to have him thrown in prison at Pretoria. The Pretoria prison was among the world's most carefully guarded strongholds. Still, that did not stop Leonard from plotting an escape with two other British soldiers. As darkness fell, the trio waited for the opportunity. It was now pitch black. The sentries exchanged their posts. Leonard sprang across an open area, hurdled a fence of barbed wire mesh, and when he looked back, there was no one. His comrades had missed their chance. He was alone. 300 miles of hostile territory lay between Leonard and his freedom. For a while, he followed the railroad tracks to the east, stumbling alone through the dark, dodging enemy patrols, tired, hungry, and thirsty. Leonard plodded long into the night, knowing that each painful foot of the way, one false step could be his last. The night turned to day and back to night again, until the days and nights blurred. Leonard finally reached a mining town, his luck wearing thin but holding. He knocked on the door of the only British in the territory and was smuggled onto a train loaded with bales of wool. The train would carry him to the British consul to safety. And that's how Leonard Spencer, the London Morning Post fledgling correspondent, got his story and his reputation for being daring. History has all but forgotten this incident in his life in order to make room for later, greater glory. The fortune that once seemed to be wearing thin had only begun, and one day rubbed off on all of England. For that young correspondent who once upon a time saved a British armored train and escaped the enemy under impossible circumstances, continued to do the impossible for the rest of his life. We know him as Sir Winston Leonard Spencer Churchill. And now you know the rest of the story. So I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I did. As you know, and I know, Winston Churchill went on to be one of the greatest leaders that has ever walked this planet. And not only that, but an extremely positive one. So until tomorrow, victory, victory, victory.